Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 97 days since the Enforcement Directorate first arrested Kejriwal in the Liquorgate case. Now he's in the custody of the CBI for the next 3 days. But here's the twist. The CBI claimed that Kejriwal has indicted his own former deputy Manish Sisodia as the architect of the excise policy scam. In fact, in their argument for Kejriwal's custody earlier in the day, the agency asserted that the Delhi Chief Minister said that Manish Sisodia wanted to privatize selling of liquor in Delhi. But the Delhi Chief Minister retorted, and the observation by the judge also was that there was a false narrative that was being spread to defame him, and that he had said that Manish Sisodia, Aam Aadmi Party, and everyone that is being accused are all innocent. When Times Now confronted Arvind Kejriwal, this is what he had to say.
अरविंद मनीष वाले स्टेटमेंट क्या आएंगे? अरविंद
मैंने क्लैरिफाई कर दिया कोर्ट में।
अरविंद मनीष वाले स्टेटमेंट क्या आएंगे? अरविंद
मैंने क्लैरिफाई कर दिया कोर्ट में।
The Aam Aadmi Party sees Modi Sarkar's bid to keep Kejriwal behind bars. The BJP says there's no escape for the alleged kingpin of the Liquorgate scam. But I want to ask that while legal trouble has been mounting for Kejriwal, is the Aam Aadmi Party of Delhi paying the price? In fact, it is the people of Delhi who are suffering because there is a chief minister in jail, refuses to resign as chief minister, and on the other hand, there is the political war of words that has been brewing for times immemorial.
सीबीआई रंगे हाथों झूठ बोलते हुए कोर्ट के सामने पकड़ा गया है। सीबीआई ने आउट ऑफ द ब्लू, उनके वकील ने एक स्टेटमेंट कहा कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने इस मैटर से अपना पल्ला झाड़ दिया है, सारा का सारा दोष मनीष सिसोदिया के ऊपर डाल दिया है। जब ये सीबीआई ने कहा तो तुरंत अरविंद केजरीवाल जी खुद खड़े हुए और उन्होंने साफ कोर्ट के जज के सामने कहा कि जज साहब, सीबीआई पूरी की पूरी तरह से झूठ बोल रही है। और उन्होंने साफ कहा कि मनीष सिसोदिया निर्दोष है, मैं निर्दोष हूं और पूरी की पूरी आम आदमी पार्टी निर्दोष है।
सीबीआई हो या ईडी हो, इतने पर्याप्त सबूत हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी कई वर्षों तक बाहर आने वाले नहीं हैं।
Going by the standards, so-called lofty standards that he wanted to set for all other political agencies, I don't think he's in any position right now to A, not resign if he's put behind bars, and secondly, object to investigations happening.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate with Rohan Gupta is Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate in the Supreme Court, Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate in the Supreme Court, Ravi Srivastav, political analyst. But let me first ask you, Rohan Gupta. The question today many are raising is, why is this looking like a desperate bid to keep Arvind Kejriwal in jail? And I'm no fan of Arvind Kejriwal, especially since Times Now and Times Now Navbharat exposed the Sheesh Mahal and our reporter was put behind bars in Ludhiana. I really am no fan of Arvind Kejriwal. But the question that I will ask you is, ED and its jail term, the bail that is heard by the lower court, the desperation with which, the matter is taken to the high court, and when the matter is being heard by the Supreme Court, the CBI arresting Arvind Kejriwal this morning, seems like a desperate attempt in somehow or the other keeping Kejriwal behind bars. Question people will ask is, what is the desperation for the BJP?
See, absolutely no desperation, Navika ji. Two core issues on which Mr. Arvind Kejriwal asked votes from Delhi people, that was corruption and governance. Both the issues he badly failed the people of Delhi. He really ensured that the trust of people of Delhi has been shattered. करप्शन की बात करते हैं, गवर्नेंस की बात करते हैं, दोनों पे मिस्टर केजरीवाल हैज डन ओनली दोषारोपण ऑन द ऑपोजिशन पार्टी. See, today, Navika ji, we need to understand the contradiction. When Mr. Kejriwal was given bail during the elections, he was saying Satyameva Jayate, he was thanking the courts, He was everywhere praising the courts. And now when the due process has been followed, when his charges are so serious that the court is taking its own course, then why he's questioning? Why he's saying that there is a misuse of agencies? There are evidences against him. He cannot deny those evidences. Every day new evidence is coming out, and they are the serious evidences of corruption by sitting chief minister. He has betrayed the trust of people of Delhi. How can he question the agency? How can he question court? He has to follow what he has said. He has to obviously pay for it, whatever wrong he has done. He has betrayed.
But that has to be decided by the court of law.
In the election,
up until the fact that the High Court cancelled his bail, I understand. But why would you get the CBI to arrest him ahead of the Supreme Court hearing is a question that is being asked. But Ravi Srivastav, the question here is, liquor scam hua. The courts have observed in various, hearings and in various orders that there is a scam that happened. It is the question of fixing the policy. The fact is, who exactly has to be, punished for the scam that has taken place is the matter in which this whole hearing and this whole case is proceeding. I want to only ask you, can you get away by saying, अरे he's a victim, ये लोग पीछे पड़े हुए हैं, misuse of agencies? भैया scam तो हुआ था ना. There was a scam that took place.
That's the narrative. No scam happened. The fact is that, let me correct you first of all, his bail was not cancelled by the High Court. It was only stayed. Now I come to the 13th of October 2023. Honorable Supreme Court Judge Sanjeev Khanna says, the matter comes to trial, your case will not withstand for 2 minutes. Second, he gets a bail from the Honorable Supreme Court for 15 days for his canvassing. He gets a bail from the trial court, clear cut, and then High Court does it. Now, I want to ask, what business CBI has got to do the headline management and tell lie in the court? The judge himself has observed that they are lying. And there's a premier investigation agency, so-called. Why should they make the narrative there that Arvind Kejriwal has passed on the buck on Manish Sisodia? This is indeed shameful, and this speaks volumes about the CBI's effort. Now, 3 days custody, no issue. The issue will go on. The legal battle is on, and ultimately he'll come out unscathed. I don't know who will compensate him for these 3 months or 4 months which have been behind the bars for no valid reason. This case will end up like 2G scam. I predict it today.
Well, that's a political statement to make, but let me ask Sanjay Hegde. Sanjay Hegde, the fact is that there are court orders where some sort of a financial misdemeanor has been made out, and these have been observed by the courts in their orders. Having said that, is the Aam Aadmi Party within its rights to always play the victim card?
That's for the Aam Aadmi to decide, right? Whether they play, what card they play. That's not my problem is slightly different. The thing is that ultimately we are now legitimizing a system of continuous incarceration without trials. Do you see any investigating agency saying, okay, let's have a trial. This is the evidence that we've gathered over a period of 2 months, 2 years, whatever. No matter ever goes to trial. All that the investigating agencies say is that we think we've found something. We may or may not file a charge sheet, but in the meanwhile, we are arresting you and the courts can do nothing about it. And if the courts were to grant you bail in one case, we'll get you in another. And if they grant you bail in a second case, I've even seen people speculating that maybe the NIA can be called in with regard to something in Punjab. This attitude is what, when unopposed, leads to a police state. This is where journalists like you, where courts have to ask the right questions. What is it that you are getting beyond?
Sanjay Hegde, may I say this?
Yeah.
May I say this? This police state acted in a similar manner against our own reporter, Bhavna Kishore. It was a police state that arrested her in an SC/ST case when she went to ask questions to Arvind Kejriwal on the Sheesh Mahal matter. And that case was, completely thrown out, and the charges under the SC/ST Act were thrown out by the Punjab and Haryana High Court, clearly saying that these charges are fake. So I'm asking you, you do it to others, someday it comes back to bite you.
That's exactly what I'm also saying. That if you allow it in one case, it goes on all the way. Of course, when journalists get arrested, they get bailed the next day from the courts. It's happened.
Sorry,
today,
in this case it took 3 days, and 3
yes,
days for a girl, for no fault of hers, to be in jail. For you, maybe a smiling matter isn't a smiling matter for me.
Listen, 3 days for a journalist, 1 day for an editor, and now what did you say? 57 days or 74 days?
97.
97 days. So people are watching, but the point I still make is this: that do not arrest people unless you are prepared to have a trial within a reasonable amount of time.
Ishkaran Bhandari, please respond.
Navika ji, at the larger point, who can object to the fact that trial should be speedy in this country and people should have a chance to prove they're innocent or that guilt should be established? But the reality is also very often the counsels for defense want to prolong the trial because they know once they get the bail, they can keep prolonging the trial. Every simple order is appealed till Supreme Court if you have sufficient means, and every counsel appears in that. So trial being slow is a thing which nobody will object to, but who is slowing the trial? What are the reasons for the trial not proceeding? What is the judicial pressure? What is the caseload? That's a very wide debate. But let's come to this case, and you gave a very good example of what happened to a journalist who went to jail for 3 days, which can be dismissed, and a new rate card can come, editor 1 day, journalist 3 days. What about where people are sending police from across states for a comment made on a YouTube or a comment made on a Twitter because a supreme political leader is criticized? That is also happening in this country, and that is the tradition which has started when? Or what about those governments which wanted to bring 66A, where annoyance caused to anybody because of a comment on social media would land you to jail? Annoyance. That was the standard. So when we are having a wider debate, we can have a wider debate on anything, and which political party is kosher. I don't know.
But in this case of Arvind Kejriwal, specifically with the CBI saying that Arvind Kejriwal has indicted his own deputy chief minister, which was thrown out by the judge later. Does that make the CBI smelling of roses?
Yeah, that's why I started with this, that if we come specifically to this case, please understand that any case, even if CBI had arrested or not arrested, Mr. Kejriwal's bail was stayed by the Honorable High Court by an order. So that had anyways happened. It wasn't as if he could come out today because of that stay order. That was anyways in place. When CBI, this is a pending case. Whether the timing of CBI's arrest is right or wrong, he will have a chance to challenge it. Today the judge examined it. Those grounds were raised. The judge gave custody. The judge gave remand. So that is happening in the court, and the courts are seized of the matter, and we have to wait what comes out. But the larger point is this. We are talking about CM, but the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi went till Supreme Court. He is in jail for 1 year. It is not a police state when the trial court, High Court, Supreme Court all decide that there is sufficient grounds to keep him in jail. That is just one post below the Chief Minister. So
in the meanwhile, my only question that comes out is the question that the common man on the street is asking, the common man who is the voter who made Arvind Kejriwal the Chief Minister. Can somebody be in jail as Chief Minister for 97 days and still not resign? Is this a governance model that will be acceptable in this country? That's also a question that political parties will need to think about and act on. Clearly, this is not the last that we've heard of the Arvind Kejriwal case. Matter is legal, will keep coming up in courts. आम आदमी के पास पैसे हों या ना हों, लॉयर्स के, काउंसिल्स के, पॉलिटिशियंस के पास हमेशा होते हैं. So the next drama will unfold in the courts. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on the News Hour tonight. And thank you viewers for being with me. Stay safe and take care.